afternoon, people. Welcome to This is Africa TV channel. Today we're going to be talking about the situation with the Nigerian president, President Buhari. Our president who decided that Abuja and the Aso Rock was not big enough for him to preside over the affairs of our country. And he decided that living and staying in London, in Abuja House in London, is better off for him to preside over the nation. So on this next video, we're going to be looking at that situation and the effect on the nation, and with all what has been going on in the country, and with our president being AWOL from the country. Thank you, and come into the journey with me. The first time he came to the UK, we heard that he came here because of an ear infection. A country like Nigeria, the forefront of African nation, the giant of Africa, this man, the president, is sitting on some unbelievable amount of money. The country is an oil-producing country. They might not have as much oil as some countries in the Middle East, but they've got vast amount of oil. They've got vast amounts of mineral resources. Even the mineral resources are paying in the backside for some parts of the country. So we have so much resources, but when the president is sick, when the president has an ear infection, he cannot treat that in Lagos. He cannot treat that in Abuja. He flew to the United Kingdom. Can you believe that? He got that done, stayed in the United Kingdom for a bit, went back to Nigeria. He got sick again early this year. He came back to the United Kingdom for checkup and for treatment. There he spent 7 weeks. The presidential jet came and stayed in the hangar at the airport for them 7 weeks. To park an airplane on that space in Heathrow or Gatwick or wherever, it costs a lot of money. And Nigerians are starving at home. And here is the president in another country, lavishing the money, wasting the money away, and doing all kinds of horrible meetings all over the whole place. That is the state of the nation. And the whole nation is going through a lot of trouble, a lot of problem with this Biafra situation, which needs to be sorted out, with so many other kind of situations, which we're talking about the northern powers, the Kadunas, the Hausas, and the Fulanis, and the Muslims believing that this country, is Nigeria, is theirs, and they are born to rule, so they want to rule the country forever. So no other race is allowed to rule. If any other race is allowed to rule, they're allowed to rule for a certain number of times. They have to come back and rule, like what is going on now. This man is 74 years old? He's sick all the time. He's not fit to be a president anymore. He can't preside over the affairs of the nation, but he cannot be rid of. A big country like Nigeria, we have produced the largest number of graduates in the whole of Africa. Every home has got graduates. Every single Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street is a graduate. Okada rider is a graduate. The bus driver, a conductor, is a graduate. The only people who are not educated are the Nigerian police and people from the north. This man is not fit to be a president. He cannot be impeached because we've got these people from the northern part of the country, the House of Fulani Cabal or the cartel, or maybe we should actually call them what they are, the Islamic Syndicate, the jihadis who install the presidency, who puts him into power, and they cannot feel that the nation belongs to them, and so the president cannot be impeached. The whole time the president came to the UK again, this time, and he's here for he came in May. I think he arrived here in May this 11th. June, July, August. So we're looking at this president was outside of the country, outside of his jurisdiction for nearly 4 months because he's sick. And I cannot really understand the kind of sickness that we're talking about here. Because if this man is sick, he should be admitted in hospital. But while he was here being sick, we've got video on him on social media signing a registry in some kind of a church. I don't know what he's doing there. And another time we've seen his wife visiting him in Abuja House, which is the Nigerian house in London. And another time we've seen the vice president coming all the way from Nigeria for 1 day to come and have a meeting with him and went straight back. With that so large entourage that they carry about, Nigerians who are suffering at home, who have been bled to the bone, are paying for all that. And the president who's sitting here, the first time he came, the second time, this third time, somebody's paying for the plane. That is just sitting there doing nothing with this huge entourage that is just all around him doing nothing. This is a situation that cannot happen in any other country except Nigeria. And the only reason why it's happening in Nigeria is because we have the northern illiterates that are actually ruling the nation. This is a serious situation. This man came into power telling us he's coming in to actually help corruption. But how can he help corruption when he seems to be the master of corruption? This new sickness, let us ask the president, sir, where has you been treating yourself all along before you became president? This is the question we should be asking. We've got millions and millions of people around 74, 75 years of age in Nigeria. We've got people up to the age of 100, 91, 92, 93. Our fathers, our grandfathers, everyone. They're all in Africa. They're all in Nigeria. Do we have to fly all of them to the UK for treatment? Would you see any other president in the United Kingdom for treatment? When are you going to start acting like a president? This whole thing is sickening. The whole nation is upside down. The Biafra situation is there. It's getting bigger and it's getting bigger. This needs to be sorted out. The northern idiots, the people, the Arewa youths, led by some Shetima lunatic, giving ultimatum to the Easterners, to the Igbos in the north to vacate the north. This is going to go out of hand. A lot of blood is going to be shed again. A lot of blood was shed in the civil war, in the Biafra civil war in time past. We can see the next video of Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu, who says this Biafra thing shouldn't come up again.
Violence. Chief Emeka Ojukwu led the Biafrans against the government in the last war. He says it would be a mistake for anyone to provoke another.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. And I will say to everyone, I led proudly the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise, the dead would have been to no avail. It would all have been in vain.
It shouldn't come up again. He told that people should have learned from it. The Northerners should have. The presidency should have. The government should have. But no one is learning nothing out of it. Then thousands and thousands of people to die, just die for nothing. Because it's just going to happen again. Because we have presidents who don't give a shit about the country. We have these Northerners who are ruling the whole country and they don't give a shit. And they just think the whole country is their backyard. They can do whatever they like. A president who doesn't sit in power. Do you think Donald Trump can leave America for 3 months or 4 months and will still be the president? No, he'll be impeached. It can't happen. You think it can happen in Great Britain? Theresa May, to go spend 1 month away in America, say she's sick. She ain't gonna be prime minister again. Or Angela McCabe. just one day woke up and said, oh, I am sick and I'm going to go for treatment in the United Kingdom or in the United States, and she's going to stay in the United States or United Kingdom for 3-4 months. That will be the end of her tenure. Those are the things that happen in an ideal situation, in an ideal country. But a country where corruption is so deep and so rooted, that is a huge thing. But you're part of it, Mr. President. I'm sorry. You're now telling every Nigerian that it's okay to get out of the country and go seek greener pasture elsewhere, because you're setting a very bad example. You're telling the youth that there is no hope in Nigeria. You're telling the unborn and the newly born child that there is no hope in Nigeria. If you as a president can set a bad precedent, if you as a president, you're sick and you run into the United Kingdom all the time, this is the third time. The first time you came, it was just one ear infection. It is sickening. The second time was for 7 weeks. And the total time now, nearly 4 months. But you weren't admitted in hospital. You were in the Nigerian house. So what kind of a sickness that you were in a Nigerian house, you've not been admitted in a hospital, that you can be treated in Lagos or in Abuja? Why don't you start acting like a president? Like a person who is actually a president, who is sitting on money. Look at the hospitals in this country. When you look at the systems in this country, why you're running here is because the system works. It's because the hospital works. It's because the doctors work. Because doctors work because they get paid. Doctors don't work in Nigeria because they don't get paid. The hospitals in Nigeria don't have equipment. The hospitals here have equipment. That is why you're running here when you have ordinary ear infection. What's all that billions you're sitting on in Nigeria for? You are sitting on an unbelievable amount of money, Mr. President, and you cannot use it. And you cannot provide medical health even for yourself, not to talk of the people. You can bring whatever medical facility that is in the United Kingdom, you can bring them to Abuja. It's all these billions and billions of dollars that you people are just like sharing among yourself and you're stealing in the government. You can build a state-of-the-art hospital in Abuja that will be an envy of every nation in the world. Because as it is now, we have seen what they have built in the United Kingdom. We've seen what they have built in America. We've seen what they have in Canada. You can combine all this. You got the money. Take a leaf from Dubai, from the Middle Eastern, your people. When they need anything, they go for it. They come to the West and they get the best of the best. They get the best doctors, the best media practitioners, they get the best of everything. Even the best of our referees in England is gone against the Middle East. You can get the best of the best. You can get the best doctors to come and treat you in Abuja. They can bring all the facility down there. You don't have to fly all over here. Is it because you don't even know how to handle the government again? Or you felt that this government is just too big for you, it's not what you expected? Or is it because you're trying to turn Nigeria into something else? Because coming to stay in the United Kingdom, coming to stay in London, which is now the jihadist capital of the world, for so long, is something really, really that Nigerians have to worry about. While you're here, a lot is happening in Nigeria and you're not handling it. The Biafran situation is not being handled at all. The Yorubas are joining in. We've seen now on the 27th a conference by the Yorubas now that say, okay, they're supporting the Igbo that want to go, and they too are planning to go. Now they're demanding for the Oduduwa Republic. We have a president who never stays in the country. How can you stop all this happening? How can you resolve all these problems when you are even too sick to decide on anything and you're not allowed to step aside and let somebody who is able to do it? How is this country going to grow? Because you guys don't give a shit about the country. All of you in the north has got oil wells without even producing any oil in your own states. The states that are producing the oil in the south are suffering. The Niger Delta are suffering. Every single Nigerian wants to come abroad and live because the whole nation is nothing to write home about, because the nation is ups and down. While the people in the north are enjoying it, and you, the president, you actually sanctioning it, that it is good, it is okay for Nigerians to go abroad. We grew up with you in the north doing your Arabic studies and we in the south doing our Christian religion studies. But now you're removing Christian religion studies from the curriculum and you put in, well, Arabic or Quran or whatever. You do your things and let the other people do theirs. When Nigeria was peaceful in the 60s, when there is an Islamic celebration, Eid al-Fitr, Eid, whatever it is called, everybody joined together to celebrate it. And when it is the Christmas, everybody joined together to celebrate it. Back home, when we were growing up in primary school, we all went to the same primary school. The Tajuddin, the Suleiman, everybody, we all went to the same primary school. And everybody goes to whatever is being done around your side. No religion is being forced upon the other. But we have a president who is just stepping aside while all this thing is happening. They can't even farm in Nigeria. These herdsmen, all these so-called northern cattle rearer who have become kings and gods in Nigeria, will just rear the animals into these people's farm and destroy the whole farm. We have kids in classrooms where cows have been inside the classroom and all the kids will have to run out. And no one can actually say anything because the president himself is a herdsman. So he don't give a shit what is happening to the country. He don't give a shit at what is happening. Look at all the roads, Mr. President. There is no medical facilities. There is no health facilities. There is no good road. There is no education. Qualification in Nigeria doesn't even what the paper is written upon. You bring your qualification to the Western world, they throw it to your face. Because they believe that you can actually sit under the tree without attending classroom and you get that qualification. And that's true. All the politicians never even went to universities. They're doing politics in the offices, but they've got qualification from all these various universities. All they need to do is pay money. All our girls have become prostitutes because of the hardship in the country, because of corruption. The situation now is getting out of hand. The Yorubas want to leave, the Igbos want to leave. Where do you want to put the middle belt? They're going to have to find somewhere to patch themselves somehow because they don't want to be under the northern cabal again as well. They don't want to be under the House of Fulani. And where are we going to pull all those the river Rhine areas in cross rivers? Because they don't want to go with the Igbos. There has to be a national conference. A conference to decide on the fate of the country. The word Nigeria is dead. Right now, there has to be a new way forward. We bring back the old regional government, where each region can have their own government and they can administer their own people and they can see to the affairs of their own people. We do not want bloodshed again like the Biafra of old. This situation needs to be sorted and be sorted properly. Not like before. We are sick and tired of bloodshed. When you look at the Middle Easterns in Dubai, in United Arab Emirates, in Qatar, in Kuwait, in all these places, not even India, not even Pakistan. If any of them is sick, they get treated in their country because they believe in themselves. In South Africa, the Zuma will not come here for treatment. But all our politicians and big men go to South Africa for treatment. It's okay now because the president himself can come to the United Kingdom for treatment. What a president. And what a precedent from a president. That is the state of the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna agree with me that the state of Nigeria is dead. Something else needs to replace that.